at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies with a light breeze. The high near 49. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies and calm winds. The low around 37. And tomorrow, partly sunny skies return with light winds. The high near 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Thunder from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Strap up your headgear and try not to hit the mat too hard. This is Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning.
Facts don't lie. Wrestling is a pretty big deal in the Big Ten, so it's a pretty big deal to us.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Mark Manning.
All right. Welcome to Takedown Tuesday on 93.7 The Ticket. Bridge love it. Mark Manning in the building. Takedown Tuesday on 93.7 The Ticket is sponsored by Stephen Smith Construction. Stephen Smith Construction is an employee-owned company with nearly 250 employees with over 2,000 years of service combined. They lead the industry as a full-service concrete company specializing in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. Stephen Smith has locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City. You can learn more today at stephensmith.com. If you got any comments or questions, you can be a part of the show by texting our Sutter Heyman Jewelers text line at 402-464-5685 or by leaving a comment on our Facebook, X, or YouTube streams. So, pretty good weekend for the Huskers. Got to travel down to I guess now it's the first. Again, it's happened before, took a few years off, but the national duels were back. Down there in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the BOK Center, Saturday, Sunday, and pretty good event. All in all, it was a pretty good event. And, you know, we learned some stuff this weekend. We figured some stuff out, got to see some of those teams. Some of them we don't get to see till later in the year. Typically, a few that we usually do see at the CKLV down in Vegas. So a couple familiar faces, some new opponents, but all in all, pretty good weekend, fun weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start with it? It was a busy weekend. Obviously, some money online for this one too, and some interesting events with the national duels. 16 teams invite only, some of the best teams out there. I think Penn State was the one big one that didn't show up, but Ohio State, Iowa, Oklahoma State, you guys got to see as well. I'll give the floor to you guys and where you want to start with this weekend and these national duels and Husker wrestling.
Yeah, so but before the weekend started, there was a lot of talk about Penn State not being there. But once the duels got going, it kind of overshadowed the fact that they weren't there. Like before the tournament, walking in, it was like, I can't believe they're not coming. Like we're trying to do something new, and they don't want to be a part of it. But once it got going, all the attention turned away from who's not there to who's wrestling. And you know, teams were willing to put the matchups that people wanted to see out there. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, nice. You know, this early in the season too, it's kind of nice to get that barometer. You know, to see where everyone's at. And you always want to peak at that right point in the season, but we'll get into some of these matches, but you head into that tournament and you start day one really well. But Coach Mark Manning, if you guys want to join as well, you got questions for the coach, 402-464-5685. Talk about just that day one for me after the weigh-ins and with the Lehigh, where you guys had a solid first day there.
Yeah, Lehigh has a really good team, and they have a couple guys, a couple of their studs, out at 133. Ryan Crookman ranked high, and then Stanich at 141, and both those guys didn't wrestle. Their heavyweight, I guess, was hurt too. So their team came in, ranked high, but you didn't have three guys. So we had a good match with them. And our 125 pounder, Alan Kaler, wrestled that match. We kind of 125, I'm sure listeners or people that follow our team know we wrestled both Cale Lawrenson and Alan Kaler, switched them up a little bit. And we're still, that spot's up in the air. We're still trying to figure out who's going to rise up and separate themselves. And Alan Kaler was in on the winning takedown against third place,
Seymour.
fourth guy who got fourth in the nation last year. Winning takedown, had a cradle and just took it the wrong way and made a mistake and got taken down, and he lost a really tough match. So, that he showed a lot of promise in that match. And a lot like when you're a redshirt freshman, Cale is and Alan are, they're figuring out. So that was a good match for Alan, that one, but he didn't have such a good match against Oklahoma State. So we kind of threw him in a spot with a veteran guy, Spratley from Oklahoma State, and he didn't respond the way that we thought he would. So that's just the trials and error of putting guys out in these, when the bullets are flying, out in the limelight and seeing who's going to rise up. And so that spot 125 is still up in the air. We're still trying to figure out if Cale Lawrenson's going to step up or Alan Kaler. So, some good things there, but also some things that we need to get a lot better at. So that, 133, Jacob Van D came in the tournament with a bad shoulder. He only wrestled one match. He wrestled against Michigan, looked great, but he came off the mat and his shoulder was, really sore, really torn up. And our number two guy there, Omar Abdu, wrestled a good match against the Ohio State kid because Van D couldn't go and he broke his hand first period, ended up getting beat by DeVito. And so when we went to wrestle Oklahoma State, we had no one, both of our guys at that weight class, because we could only take 16. So we had 6 backups that we could bring to the tournament. So we had injury bug bite us on Saturday late in the second duel, and then on Sunday morning with Ohio State. So LJ Araujo got hurt, his hamstring. Antrell Taylor, banged up his knee really bad. He couldn't wrestle the last match. So we were what would you say? We were surviving on our shoelaces. We were down to just putting out kind of a crazy lineup for our last duel against Oklahoma State. So a lot of good things. We wrestled Michigan tough, and they're a tough team. But Ohio State, they got a good team. The great thing about seeing these two teams is, one, we get to see Oklahoma State December 21st for about 6-7 weeks. So obviously we've already been, we're hard at it, making some changes right now and challenging our guys to get better. So that's great. And then, a month after that, so 2 months from now, we'll get to wrestle Ohio State here at Devaney. And so, yeah, great. And you're a competitor, you're going to rise up. So we got great competitors on our team. We need to get healthy right now.
Yeah, especially with the sport that is wrestling. And, off air, I was talking about it with the DP and Bridge a little bit too. Kind of talking about you and I last year where Husker Wrestling early in the season, didn't have their best day, but they're able to transition. And maybe I'm not using the right words, but it was almost like a turning point for that team. And they, despite what ended up being a tough day, they're able to use that to kind of really turn a corner.
Yeah. This I think is completely different. It just, you take 4 out of your 10 lineup out of your lineup,
Mhm.
4 of your 10 starters, you're just not going to be the same. And we're wrestling Cale Lawrence at 133 because we didn't have anyone, and we had to forfeit at 165 because we didn't have our backup. Our backup there, Des Gartrell, had to wrestle for Antrell at 157, so we didn't have another guy there. So, it's that match we're in a gunfight with a water pistol. So, I think Silas Allred had a really good match, beat kid who was ranked 4th in the nation, and so there's some light. And AJ wrestled well at heavyweight, and we'll get to see him on December 21st. So we're going to change that outcome there. And I'm sure people look on paper and it's like, oh my gosh, they got killed. Well, if you know the circumstances, it's nothing about getting killed. It's just some of our backups are not as strong as their starters. So like anything, hey, my backup quarterback might not be Joe Burrow.
Mhm.
Right? So you only get 10 Joe Burrows. So, it is what it is. And, you deal with it, and shoot, no one loves, you think I like to get whooped? Heck no. I'm most competitive guy you've ever seen, so, but what do? You don't do anything but teach your team how to respond positively. This is opportunity to grow and get better. It's just, November, middle of November, we want to be our best in March. And that's when you're remembered, 2 days at the Big Ten and 3 days at national tournament. But the great thing is we get to see these two teams that put a little whooping on us here in the next 2 months. So that's why I'm here to talk about it. Love it. Love it. Fans, call in. Give me your opinion. I love it, but it is what it is. But, the great thing is our sport's different than football. You might only play one time a year, right? But this, in our sport, Brock Hardy lost the tightest match at 141 to the defending national champ, who he beat in the Big Ten, lost to him in the NCAA finals, wrestled a really good match. We lost to him by here. He could see Jesse Mendez in the dual meet. He's going to see him if they wrestle us, and then the Big Ten tournament, and then national tournament. So there's a lot of wrestling. It's just not beating someone once. It's like Antrell Taylor. He didn't have a good weekend. He made a mistake against the Lehigh guy, and then, kind of rolled over into Ohio State match. And, that guy had a certain style that clashed with Antrell's, and, but he can take a lot away from that, and we'll have a different outcome next time.
Well said. And I know the Husker fans, especially for that Oklahoma State and all that one's at home, there'll be fans coming back to see that rematch. Ridge, kind of what were you seeing out there from Husker wrestling this week? And then obviously the injuries, especially in a tournament like that. It's not to belittle other teams, but Nebraska wouldn't be able to get away with it. But when you got Ohio State, Oklahoma State, some of those tough opponents, tough to get through, but you did have that good first day. And then, as Coach said, some of those injuries played. But what did you see over the weekend?
There was a couple guys that watching them wrestle this weekend got me real excited. And one of them was AJ Ferrari, right? We saw him against the Army kid, but now we're walking into national duels. He's going to be wrestling top ranked kids all over the place, right? Didn't get the guy who he wanted with Lehigh, but then came out, and I don't know what Gadali is ranked right now. I think he was ranked fourth.
fourth, I think.
And AJ went out there and hung up 12 on him. Right. So that's huge. Being able to see him push the pace, wrestle the bigger guys, because we knew he was really good at wrestling. Right. But 97 is different than heavyweight. Your opponents are 60 pounds heavier. It's a different style of wrestling. But he's going to be a problem for these dudes. Once he gets a little more experience, gets to pick his shots a little bit better. Because even the one he lost to the Ohio State kid, he shot himself out of the match. Yeah. Which at this point in the season is not a problem. Right? Keep shooting all those shots. If it bites you in the butt, okay, so be it. Right? Like Coach was just saying, there's a lot of time left in the season to get some of those wins back and also just to use that to grow. Coach Tervel used Nick Lee from Penn State as an example a couple years ago. So when he was redshirting, I watched this kid shoot him out of a match 5, 6, 7 times in a row. Like all the time, he'd just shoot himself out of matches and the other guys would get go-behinds and takedowns. But then later on in the year and later on in his career, no one was stopping those takedowns. He figured stuff out. He used those early years, those when he fell down, to really boost and propel himself forward. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing from AJ. It looks like each match he's getting a little bit better. And also with the Ohio State one, the timing of that takedown was unfortunate. They smacked heads. AJ got taken down with 5 seconds left. Right, so you don't even get an opportunity to get your escape, to get that point back. I think he ended up losing by 1. But if that takedown happens 30 seconds into the match, well, now he's wrestling behind. Some stall calls start coming up. He gets time to get get the escape. Right, so timing a little bit with that one. But all in all, he wrestled really well. And Nikade Zinkin is another one that I was impressed with. Made with the Oklahoma State match, just made some bad choices. Right, he had 2 takedowns that were locked. He was going to take the kid down, made a poor choice, tried to pull the kid on top of him, gave up 2 takedowns. And that's a 6-point swing. And well, I guess 12-point swing, really.
I mean, is that just a freshman learning moment right there where he's just going to get those reps?
And then with Ohio State, with Ethan Styles, he had a cradle locked up. So a little bit of it is moments pretty big, right? Get excited, get your hands locked, don't really panic for a second, right? So a little bit of time. Seeing that kid next year, he's going to be a different person. A little bit stronger, little calm down a little bit, a little more familiar with what's going on, right? Because at the end of the day, it's still wrestling. We could see him get into those positions. Right. The stuff he was doing was working, just wasn't quite able to capitalize on it. But putting himself in positions to win matches and putting himself in a lot of positions to score points, right? Get him a little bit stronger, get those lift and returns instead of trying to have to pull the guy down. Stuff like that makes those changes for him, and he's going to be a problem.
I'm excited to see, because I think you brought him in studio as well. I think it was him and Zayol maybe brought in, and you could kind of just see the confidence that kid's walking around with. So I'm hoping to see it continue to develop. And then with AJ Ferrari, you mentioned it, it's just his strength. It's just kind of what always shocks me. I mean, he's still just picking up dudes by one leg, despite that huge weight disadvantage. With a guy like AJ Ferrari, how do you balance that? If he is Mr. Fast twitch, quick twitch. And then at the same time, he's in that heavyweight class. I mean, is that a guy that you want to put more muscle mass on him solely, or is he just sitting perfect where he's at?
He's got a lot on. He's gonna tell you too. But the thing is, he's at a great size. I think he weighed in around 230. The Ohio State kid weighed 228, I believe. The Michigan kid's big, 265. AJ's his speed and athleticism, but his strength is insane. So whether he weighs 242 or 228, it ain't gonna matter. His speed and his competitive spirit matches. No one matches his competitive spirit. He's a goer. What Ridge was talking about earlier in that match, he took himself down almost, right? And so he made a silly mistake, but that's why it's early in the season. And I know he's looking forward to that matchup when we wrestle Ohio State, but he's got a lot of challenges in front of him. And just take him 1 week at a time. But he's the right guy at heavyweight for us. He's going to be a hard out because he's going to be hard to be taken down. And his power and just the intensity he wrestles with, he warms up. You watch him warm up. He's into Rocky and he's Apollo Creed, man. But and that's hilarious. But it gets him going. So whatever gets people going and gets their competitive spirit up and competitive juices flowing, it's great. And AJ does a good job of getting himself ready to go. Right away, you better be ready because he's going to take you down. And so heavyweights aren't used to that. What Ridge was saying, heavyweight is so unlike 125. It's just a different beast. They're not used to having people shoot on them all the time.
Mhm.
And AJ's willing to go out there and pull the trigger. And they're just like overwhelmed. It's like, oh my God, when is this guy going to stop? And so he's a stud. He's going to be a problem at heavyweight.
He's locked in. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had a few conversations with him down here where he's hopped on with DP, and he does love Rocky. I think it's a great choice. I mean, it gets me fired up too, so nothing wrong with that. But you can just hear it when that guy talks. I mean, he is just everything wrestling. He loves the sport and he's really committed to it.
Yep.
When you're looking, at those heavyweights and AJ Ferrari's style, what are you seeing? Ridge Lovett.
I see a lot of defensive wrestling competing against somebody who is ultra offensive, right? And scary to shoot on. The big kids do not want to shoot on AJ. He's too fast. He gets to the corner. If they shoot on him, he's going to take them down, right? So it's going to be, is he able to kind of open him up a little bit and find better spots for his shots? Because when he was getting their hands on the mat and shooting through them, he was blowing these kids off their feet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when they're up in their stance and he's trying to get through and knock them off their feet then that I could see him struggling a little bit. Just little more chasing angles. If he can start getting angles on his shots and less straight on, when he gets their hands on the mat, he can do whatever he wants. Because once he would snap them, he was blowing these kids off their feet, running right through their faces. But when they're up in their stance, because heavyweights don't really get in a stance. They're pretty upright, kind of standing up a little bit. So it's hard to really just blow them off their feet. But if he could little bit of Christian Lance getting on their ankles and then using those different attacks to find angles, he's going to take down everybody.
Yeah, he's certainly got the speed to do it, and he's been putting that on tape all year so far at the beginning of the season. Before we go to break here, how'd you guys like that style of the Tournament National Duel? Some money on the line, and I know they had the takedown. You get a little bit of extra money if you get that first. And, I thought it was really cool. I thought it brought a ton of attention to it. The bracket was cool. I felt like on Twitter I was seeing it blow up a lot more with the national duels. I like the idea a lot. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are.
Yeah, I think it's where our sport needs to go. I think, fans are going to follow more teams. That's why people want, they come to dual meets. Dual meets are cool.
Mhm.
It's one upset could just change your trajectory of that team score. And, it was a great event. There was there was at one time the finalists at 125 and the finalists at 133 wrestling the same time. And then Brock Hardy wrestled Jesse Mendez the next round.
Mhm.
I mean, there were some amazing matchups this weekend. Well, I think 9 out of the top 10 teams are there, right?
Yeah.
So, there was a high level matches going on each and every time, and so, a number of our guys, LJ, for instance, wrestled ranked guy from Lehigh, highly ranked guy, Michigan, ranked, Ohio State, ranked high. So, you almost every match you were wrestling another guy that's not only probably going to be at the NCAA tournament, but it's going to be, ranked in the top 10 or top 12. So it's a really great test and that was a great atmosphere. And I think it's only going to get better, more popular.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Shout out. I think it was Paycom, right? Yeah. I mean, I like the idea a lot, but put some money on it. Shout out to the Huskers. They walked home with, I think $75,000 is what it was, but also you just get way more eyes on it.
Absolutely.
And that is the biggest thing the sport needs. When you get all that eyes on it, and then it's just match after match, and as Manning said, you just got these high ranked opponents.
Yeah, there was 3 NCAA finals rematches in the middle of November, right? You don't get to see that.
Yeah, it's incredible. With that being said, we do got to throw it to break. We do got one from a text line here. You guys are welcome to join in. 402-464-5685. We got Brian saying, shout out Ridge from Post Falls, Idaho.
Yes, sir. Come on now.
Don't go anywhere. This
Come on.
is Takedown Tuesdays. We've got head coach Mark Manning and national champ Ridge Lovett right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today.
It's No Shave November at Limitless Mail. Let the beard grow and lose weight. If extra weight is holding you back from activities, the men's health experts at Limitless Mail can help. It's no fun being left out because your weight is holding you back. GLP-1s from Limitless Mail will help you drop the weight fast, and you won't be hungry. When you feel good and look good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Mail.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Okay, we're back. Ridge Lovett, Mark Manning, Takedown Tuesday on 93.7 The Ticket. Just chatting a little bit about our weekend down there in Tulsa. National duels, the BOK Center. Huskers ended up 4th. Top 9 of the top 10 teams in the country were there. We were talking about before, injury bug got us a little bit, but
yeah, tough. How did how tough was that Coach Manning to turn around from Ohio State, and then it was just directly after, right at noon, into Oklahoma State. In the meanwhile, you're just probably trying to rack up the injuries on who do we need to take care of here.
Yeah, I mean, my head was spinning from the standpoint that I knew Omar had hurt his hand during the Ohio State match, and Jacob Van D couldn't go, so I'm saying, okay, which 125 pounder should go 125, which guy could go 133, that we at least represent someone at that weight class. And then, Antrell Taylor's knee was hurt. LJ Araujo's hamstring was tore. So it was putting together, patching a team together to put out the mat. And, it just is what it is. People look at, if you only look at the score and you don't really know what's going on, you're like, whoa, man, they're not as tough as they were. Well, no, we weren't that day because, we didn't have a full lineup. So no excuses. We got to continue to develop our guys to be ready for those moments. But there we were a kind of a ragtag bunch going in the last duel. And, we just got done wrestling Ohio State, and you had, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, get ready to go. So all that stuff really allows our guys, it's not practicing it. It's training it. You train your body, you train your mind to get ready and go again, and so same for that other guy. So it's even Stevens, who's going to be a little tougher, who's going to be a little bit more intentional, who's going to be, smart on their approach, who's going to get their body ready to go. And so all that stuff are great learning moments for us, and we can reinforce them. And we're definitely going to take heed and, getting them instilled in our team.
Is it tough to convince some of those wrestlers, like, hey, take a rest here, you're beat up, you're a bit hurt there? I mean, I know it's a different DNA, or is it well understood that, later in the season's the real goal? That's what people are going to remember, is that postseason.
Yeah, it's great. I've had situations where guys don't want to go, and a little bit of, it's a difference between pain and injury, right? Mm-hmm. So it's hard to detect as a coach. And so, I mean, I know Jacob Van D, he's tougher than a $3 steak. So I know he's going to tell me, I want to go. And it's just not wise. His shoulders killing him when he came off the mat against Michigan, and just not smart. It's not smart here in November. And, Omar, was wrestling, scrapping with probably the kid was probably OW of the tournament, Davino from Ohio State. And breaks his hand. We didn't know till after the match, but obviously he couldn't go 15 minutes later. So an Antrell comes up, coach, my knee is, and our trainer checked him out. And, it's not wise to wrestle those guys then. And LJ, we had to forfeit at 165. So it was like, I'm just making sure, hey, we got someone to put in. And if not, where do we have to forfeit? So, getting Dez ready to go for 157 and off we go. So it's, it's unfortunate that happened like that, but it is what it is. And it's November. We would love to be first, but it does really nothing for us in a month if we lay an egg when we wrestle Oklahoma State. We're going to take a lot out of that the weekend and the good and the bad and work on things to better ourselves. And our guys got to get better, a little bit better frame of mind. Some of them, some are definitely our young guys, just they lose their concentration. You got to wrestle the whole time. There's 5 seconds on the clock. You got to wrestle, man. And so we're going to reinforce some of those things, and hey, we're going to be a better team because of it. And anyone that knows me, we'll make some corrections. So it's great. For his coach, great. Would I love to be first? Sure. But we're not. We weren't. It wasn't in God's plan because we had too many. We weren't going to get first with the team we had banged up, so it's unfortunate, but that's life.
Yeah, well, to your point, it's not the goal. The national duels was great down there in Tulsa, but that is not the season goal. And
yeah,
even if some of those guys could go through and try to do it injured, I mean, at what point is it if they're going to have some, season damage at the end there, even if they could somehow pull off a win through the injury? Rich, what kind of wrestler were you? Were you pretty upfront about your wear and tear, or were you saying I can go through it no matter what?
I was pretty aware of if I was hurt or injured, right? Like knowing oh my gosh, my leg's tired. Lift this week was hard. My back's sore. We can still wrestle, right? I had a shoulder thing last year. When that happened, I was thinking, I don't know if I'm ever going to pick my arm up again. Things are just barely hanging on, right? So took a little bit of time off, got back into it. And I think mine happened about a month before where we're at right now. So it was before any events or anything. But I didn't go to the first tournament. The whole team went to Navy Classic and I stayed home, right? So I could get ready to go we had a couple more weeks until we dueled Campbell and UNC. So then I was ready for that, right? Getting ready to really go knock some dudes off at the CKLV. So I was pretty good about knowing whether I was hurt or injured. Stitches in the eye, that's hurt. You can wrestle. You'll be okay. You're going to be fine. But if your arm's barely hanging on, if your knee's really jacked up, okay, know when to say something.
Yeah, I mean, me and DP said all the time, it's just you guys just you're human, but you're not too far from not being human. So I'd always have the pain tolerance of some of those wrestlers. You just don't know, because they might be telling the truth. I really don't feel the pain because their pain tolerance is so crazy, and you got to send them out anyways. Where it's have the trainer at least take a look at it. How do you kind of balance injuries early in the year, Coach Manning, when it's wrestling, it's a grueling sport, stuff like that's going to happen, and you don't always have control over it?
Well, back to that point, you think Omar, he said it happened in the first 30 seconds of the match, and he wrestled all 7 minutes with a broken hand. He's got a bone broken in. He's going to get some screws put in it here in the next couple of days. So I think, it's just got to get guys healthy, get them back mentally, and then, trying to maintain their conditioning if we can still keep them on a bike or a treadmill and keep their cardio going, and then just get them back on the mat when they, we got an amazing trainer in Tyler Weta. So he does a really great job of rehabbing our guys. So he's the best in the business right there. So give him to Weta and make sure they're seeing him all the time and following through on their injury. And then, we try to teach them to be a pro. You got to be a pro. I had a doctor once told me that worked in the NFL. He said Adrian Peterson tore his ACL, and the hours he was in the training room at the morning at 6 o'clock and at noon, and then at 6 at night. He rehabbed his knee all the time to get back in the game, play NFL football. So it wasn't like hey, I throw ice bag on my knee one time and it's going to be magic. He's rehabbing it, trying to strengthen it back. And that those are challenging times, both mentally and physically. So, it's just getting them back in the fold and making sure they're ready to go at their strongest.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Because I think a lot of people, when they think of rehab, it's like that exact thing. It's like, oh, you're just sitting on the couch with a bag of ice. It's like you're working through it, trying to get that strength.
Practice is hard, but rehab with Weeda, oh my gosh, it's so much worse. So much worse. One, because you're in the room, everyone's wrestling, and you want to be a part of it, but also this crazy dude's gonna try to kill you. See how many times you can lift up this 2.5 pound plate.
Yeah, you're going to be in the pool. You're going to be doing some water workouts. So you're going to work hard because your body has to recover, and you got to challenge it. And it's not like, hey, I just throw a bag of ice on my knee and my knee's going to get better in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way. And so you're coming in and you're spending a lot of lonely moments, not with your teammates. You're spending it with the trainer. Not that Tyler's a bad guy to spend time with, but if you're best buddies with him and not with the coaches, you're you
might be injury prone at that point.
You might be in a tough spot. Call those Adam Tebow's. Yeah. My old roommate spent a lot of time with Weeda. A lot of time. 2 torn ACLs. Almost tore his hamstring. I
mean, what makes him so good? Because you recovered miraculously. Obviously, I mean, what does that guy do to really help those wrestlers that are going through rehab? Because it's the physical stuff, and then mentally too.
Yes.
No athlete wants to be sitting there.
Big on the mentality side of it, keeping you ready, knowing that you're going to be ready when it's time to go. And, he puts together a plan, and we stick to the plan. Like, I wasn't in there 3 times a day like AP, but I was in there twice a day. The entire wrestling practice, I would be in there doing rehabs on my shoulder. When it first happened, I couldn't even pick my arm up. It just hung there.
Yeah.
So I had a stick that I would lift my arm up with, and I would be sitting there for 25 minutes, lifting my arm up, doing different blood flow restriction stuff, just different movement stuff. Then started getting, once I could really move it again, then it was okay. Let's get the strength back. Then just went super hard on the strength part of it. And, just knowing that once I got back, I was going to be ready. I wasn't no nervousness. Oh, I don't know about my shoulder. I don't want to hurt it. Once I got back, I knew I was going to be ready. Right. So I was able to go out there, wrestle free, didn't have to protect anything. And these guys, they're in an okay spot. It's a good time to be banged up. We have a few weeks off before we get back. And I think we have 2 or 3 more competitions before Christmas break, get a little more time off. Right. So kind of they have some time to heal up, get to go out there, compete again, see where we're feeling, get a couple more opportunities, and then another break before we really get into the tough part of the season when it really starts ramping up.
Well, with that being said, Coach Manning, what's the message to the team after Tulsa? And as Rich said, you got some time to get right, and just injury-wise as well.
Yeah, it's just getting them. We're going to watch some video tomorrow. We're going to talk about, our mindset and getting, some of our standards need to be higher, and talk about, how we can be elite, and we have the team to do it. I'm sure people are their team's not as good. Well, don't sleep on us. I'm telling you, this team is one of the best teams we've ever had. And we just got to get healthy and get them firing on all cylinders. And it's going to be fun. I can't wait till, here in a couple of weeks, we wrestle Brown University in Missouri, down in Missouri. And then
we get North Carolina back at home for the fans
on Friday, and then Oklahoma State on the 21st, and that'll going to be Merry Christmas. So we're great. I can't wait.
Oh, that'd be great. That December 19th and 21st. I mean, for the friends and family down there for the holidays, take them down there for some Husker wrestling down there at the Devaney Center.
Oh, it's gonna be fire right there. Mm-hmm. North Carolina's got a good team too. So we got some good matches. I know Brown University has some good guys, and then Missouri's got a really good team, and then North Carolina, and so we don't have any easy things moving ahead. So we just had to get some of these guys better. I think Jacob Van Die's in a good spot, right now. I think he's going to be better by the end of the week. And then hopefully LJ and Antrell getting a few days off their legs, and Weeda's with them the last couple of days. So they're getting right. They're great at getting in and getting treatment. Those guys know that. LJ and Antrell, they've been around long enough. They've seen guys like, Ridge, whether it's Ridge or Peyton or whoever, how to rehab, and, how to take that serious. That's a big learning point. You know, some young guys just, it's not a big deal, right? My body will heal. Well, it heals the best by, you know, being around a person that knows how to strengthen that muscle or that joint the right way. And Tyler's really good at that. So he's going to have these guys ready to go. So he's a big part of it.
Yeah. Well, especially too, just getting rid of that doubt, you know, because I know Ridge mentioned that, but you see that with a lot of athletes. When you come fresh off that injury, it's like you still just don't want to give it that full weight or pressure because it's just in the back of your head. But you know, if you trust your rehab and you trust your coaches, then you feel much better about it. With that being said, though, we do got to throw it to our final break. Don't go anywhere. We got Nebraska wrestling head coach Mark Manning, national champ Ridge Lovett, Harrison Arns pushing the buttons. 937 the ticket. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving feast. Pre-order a 12-pound whole smoked turkey or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A 4-pound boneless ham is $50. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of showers this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies with a light breeze. The high near 49. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies and calm winds. The low around 37. And tomorrow, partly sunny skies return with light winds. The high near 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Fight fans, Dynasty Combat Sports returns to the Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday, November 21st for a massive night of cage fighting action. UFC veteran Derek Minner headlines as he faces Missouri's Jacob Ritchie. In the co-main event, Lincoln's Nate Morrow battles Ashton Caniglia, with Sean Lindgren and Jeremy Small throwing down in the featured pro bout. Local prospects Easton Edmund Buden and Andrew Huffman lead the amateur side. 16 total fights are set for another electric night in the cage. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com or the arena box office. Fight card subject to change.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to Takedown Tuesday with Nebraska Wrestling head coach Mark Manning, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Okay, Takedown Tuesday on 93.7 The Ticket. Bridge Love It. Mark Manning here with our last session. So, a couple weeks, then we're getting the fire back up again, traveling down to St. Charles, Missouri. Brown on the 5th at 6 p.m.
Yep.
And then
you got Missouri.
8 p.m.?
8 p.m. for Missouri. And then we talked about it. If you want to see him at home next time, that's December 19th, December 21st. That's North Carolina and Oklahoma State, as they got a little bit of a break here to get everyone right and healthy again. And obviously they got the journeyman duels, and that's with Brown, Missouri. I mean, I was talking to Caleb Smith yesterday, and yeah, he misses it. I'll tell you that much. And he really misses being that party starter, is what he told me. Coach Manning, how important is it to have that party starter? The guy that's going to set down, like, this is Nebraska wrestling, this is the standard.
Yeah, that's you got to have the straw that stirs the drink there, and Caleb was that guy. Liam was that guy for us, and it's really, really good. He sets the tone of your team, and you know, I think we got two young guys, and Cale Lawrenson and Alan Kaler. They're trying to figure out other stuff besides that role, you know, and so they got a lot on their plate. They gotta grow up quick, from the standpoint of they know wrestling. It's the other stuff. It's the psychological warfare that's going on that you have to have the grasp for it. You know, Caleb Smith, difference between Caleb Smith and those guys right now. Caleb Smith sometimes would not have great practices. He'd get taken down a lot or get beat a lot. You know, he wouldn't win every day, you know, not like Ridge. And so sometimes, but when it came game time, he stepped up like a champ. He wrestled every second. And that's where, you know, we need that. So we just have to do a great job of bringing these two guys along and seeing who's going to rise up, and that's who we'll go with. But I think that's, you know, we've had really good, we've been fortunate to have Liam Cronin come in, and he became an All-American, then Caleb back-to-back All-American. And these guys get to work out with these guys every day. And I tell them, hey, why be nervous about wrestling this guy? Go out and take it to him. You know, you're wrestling tough guys each and every day. There shouldn't be any hesitation, but we still have some hesitation. You know, Alan Kaler wrestled really impressive against Lehigh, very aggressive.
He did.
And he just didn't have that same pace, that same attitude against the Oklahoma State kid. And so way to make strides and get better and learn how to be a consistent performer. You got to be consistent in your performance. You can't be, well, I looked good that day, and then, this match or that period, I didn't wrestle well. You can't take a period off. To be a national champ, you got to be solid every, first, second, third period, but you have to be good on your feet and then good on the mat. Hey, if you're not going to take a shot and you're not going to do anything on your feet, then you better be a hammer on top, or you better be a hammer on bottom. You better be good, because how else are you going to win the match? So figuring that out is where we're at a little bit as a team, and getting these guys to buy in. It's like football, offense, defense, and special teams. If your special teams suck, you're going to put your defense in a hard position all the time, right? So it's no different in wrestling. You got to be good on your feet. If you can't get taken down, that's good. But if I can ride, if I can turn someone over, or, I got to be gnarly on top then. That takes a commitment. That takes a different type of guy, rather than saying, oh, I just want to let him up. Well, that's the easy way. Tough decisions are hard to make. That's why they are what they are. It's tough to be tough on top. It takes a commitment. It takes a hardened mind to say, I'm going to be really good at hold someone down against their will. And then third period, I'm going to get out. So that's where we have to get better. You got a lot of coach talk today from me, man.
It's good.
This is a lot of, man, you want to be in practice 8:30 tomorrow? Come on over.
Well, I think it's great. And, I think that's what people want to hear from the coach themselves. But, I think what you said too, just the commitment, because Caleb Smith mentioned as well. It's like, listen, I didn't go out there and win every single time, but even if I didn't, that team knew that they had to absolutely pry that thing from me. And that even if they got that one, the rest of these matches they got coming up, just based on that first one, Nebraska's not going to go down easy. If we want it, it is going to be tooth and nail. We're going to have to rip this thing away from them. And I just think that's a little bit of some maybe the next steps for some younger guys. When does that really start to click? I think I've kind of talked to you about it, Rich, before, but what are some of those freshman things you see that, using football for an analogy, like the quarterback holding on to the ball too long, just kind of freshman laps, they figure it out over time. What are some of those things when it comes to wrestling?
Well, you were talking about it with Caleb Smith. You're going to have to pry it from his hands, right? And following somebody out that's willing to do that, that's willing to go down swinging in a loss, is something that's really big. Being able to, the moment that I think that you can really see people start to turn the corner is when they don't put their heads down, right? When everything is going wrong and they just, well, I guess we just keep going, see if we can't figure something out, and just keep going and going and going. Even if the score gets worse and worse and worse, it's like they never stopped. They never conceded, said, okay, I'm down by 7. Maybe we just try not to give up a major. I'm not going to go try to score. I'm just going to hope that he doesn't get another takedown, right? Things like that. That's when you can really start to see something change in somebody, when they are getting their butts kicked and they just keep firing. Like with Antrell, his first match, he got thrown on his back at the very end of the period, was starting the second period down 7-0. And he kept firing the entire match. He never got his takedown. The other dude ended up scoring more points, got a major, but he never stopped firing. He didn't give up. He didn't stop. He didn't put his head down. And that's how you know that you're on to something, right? So when those matches get tough, seeing the young guys look at the score, see they're down by a bunch and going, okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's start battling back, right? That's when you can really start to see changes and growth happen. When they look over the score and they're down a lot and they lost this one. See that now we can't work with that. But when they're willing to go down swinging, you can find growth there.
I like it. It's the truest thing in all sports. Like if the score dictates your effort, I mean, you're at a loss right there. The score, it should always be a standard. And then like, you got to fall in love with the process as opposed to the results. If you're results oriented, it's going to be an up and down roller coaster type of season. If you're process oriented, you can hold on to something consistent. Coach, you got anything left to add on to that before we go ahead and wrap up?
Oh, no, I'll bring a bunch tomorrow to practice. So I already got that formulated. So Rich knows I'm ready for practice tomorrow, but no, it's good. That's where what we're here, train guys to not only make great decisions and think right in tough competition, but to bring out their best within themselves. They got it. Sometimes they're scared to pull the trigger to unleash it. And that's when you see greatness. And we see greatness in these guys. They have to pull it out of them. And so it's great. That's what's fun about sports. And that's what's fun about the next tournament for us, the next meet. So we're excited for that. And we're excited for, our future.
And we're all excited here as well. And again, that next one, December 5th versus Brown. And then if you're waiting for a home one, that is December 19th, North Carolina. That's going to wrap it up for us. Don't go anywhere. Jalen Reyes, Husker Volleyball up next.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology.